What does it mean to you when I say mutual support and cooperation is a feature of healthy relationships? Do you think of like quid pro quo, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours? Do you think of I'll do you a favor, you'll do me a favor? If you do, you're right and also wrong. And that's what we're going to dig into today in this video. So, I'm Jen. I'm a holistic family consultant. I specialize in helping adults fully integrate and understand their identities while learning how to have happy, healthy, and fulfilling parent, partner, and self relationships. And so, mutual support and cooperation is just one feature of healthy relationships. It is not the only thing that matters for relationships to be healthy, but I realized on a call yesterday that it's a little bit misunderstood sometimes. So we're raised in a very transactional society, and we get this idea that relationships are transactional. Transactional means I give you something, you give me something, we call it fair. And in terms of relationship labor, that often means equal, like I loaded the dishes today, you load the dishes tomorrow, or I cooked dinner, so you clean up, that kind of thing. And sometimes that works. And this is not in any way to say definitely don't do that. But sometimes we get more caught up in it being equal than in it really working for everyone. And we think that the mutual part means that we both need to be doing an equal share, and this shows up not just in partner relationships. So, that sort of dynamic is partners or cohabitating people, roommates. Anybody who's living together might have the dynamics of like who loads the dishwasher. But this could also show up in like, cooperatively with friends, who is driving the kids to school, who is babysitting, who is bringing over dinner when somebody's sick. There are lots of ways that we can show care and support. And sometimes, so one of the reasons that this came up was someone expressing something along the lines of like, I've been having a hard time and I don't feel like I'm doing my share. And other people are supporting me and I'm not able to offer back that same kind of support right now. And feeling like that means that they're not worthy of being supported. So we need to expand beyond this idea of equal means fair and look at what actually works for people. So one of the other factors that's present in healthy relationships is the idea of choice. So if I don't have a choice to say no when you ask me to do something, then I can't authentically say yes either, because I never get to evaluate whether or not I can do the thing you've asked. So there has to also be this element of choice, and there have to be enough layers of support so that if I say no, it doesn't mean you're just doomed to not get your needs met. If I say no, you go ask that person. If they say no, you go ask that person, and somebody is going to have the space to meet that need. So that's one of the aspects, is there actually choice about whether to say yes or no to something? And is there an evaluation of, who are we as individual people? What are our strengths? What are the places where we need more support? For example, I'm really good at organizing things and people. So if something needs to be scheduled and logistics need to be coordinated and somebody needs to figure out what time we need to leave for the airport for a trip and book hotels and, make sure that all the logistics are lined up, that's me. Give me that job. If somebody needs to, um, you know, be the motivation to keep us going when it's hard, or to convince us to get out of bed at 3 o'clock in the morning to make it to the airport, that's not me. I can maybe barely do that for myself, but definitely not for anybody else. So dividing up the pieces where it actually works for people, playing into their strengths, and understanding how that supports, that me taking care of the logistics supports the group, but it also supports me, because I want those logistics to be all lined up. I want to know what's happening and when, and I like that. So it's not me like inconveniencing myself, putting myself out in order to do something for somebody else. It's actually good for me too. And that's really at the core of mutual support and cooperation is it's good for you, but it's good for me too. And the ways that you contribute to the relationship are good for me, but they're good for you too. So it's not I'm going to inconvenience myself for your sake, and then next time you're going to inconvenience yourself for my sake, and we have this exchange of inconvenience, and we call that a relationship. It's about, being in deep connection with ourselves as well as each other, so that we're we're contributing in ways that feel good to ourselves, other people, and the whole of the relationship, so that all of it is good. It's all a net good. It's not a, oh, well, in order to get my needs met, I have to meet your needs. And, we could go into layers and layers of attachment trauma that's a part of this, and, what patterns you saw and experienced growing up. And this is a lot of what I do when I work with people, small groups and one-on-one, is we do dive into all of those layers because those things are individual. So I can't tell you in this video what's going to be true for each and every one of you watching. But individually, that's a lot of what we do is we work through, okay, where did these messages come from? What are the messages that I have about what it means to work together? What are the messages I have about what it means to get my needs met? Am I allowed to? How? Who meets my needs? What do I have to do in order to ensure they get met? All of those things. We work through those individual patterns and figure out what is true for you and what do you need to make the changes that will feel better in your life today, regardless of what might be in your history about these things. But for today, the piece I want you to take with you and to think about is when you are giving in a relationship, and this could be in a parenting relationship, a partner relationship, a friend, a coworker, your own parents, any relationship here just means the connection between you and another person, doesn't necessarily mean romantic relationship. When you're giving in relationship, does it feel good to you, and does it feel good to the other person, and does it contribute to the general feeling of connection in the relationship? All three of those at the same time. And if the answer is no, then depending on which piece is missing, considering, is there another way to get the need met that's being expressed? Or is there another way to connect? Or is there another way to make sure that you're not getting lost in taking care of someone else? And again, these are the pieces that become then individual, where you might need help figuring that out. And that's what I do. So I'm going to invite you to bring those questions and get in touch with me. You can email, you can set up a free 20-minute call where we can chat about it and see whether or not I can help you. You're also welcome to jump on a small group call. There's a free code for that as well on my website. So I look forward to talking to you soon.